There was almost certainly a highly advanced civilization on Mars in the past. More and more we are seeing things on the red planet that could be only described as intelligent creation. From pyramids resembling the Giza Plateau to Egyptian-looking statues, the planet Mars is looking more and more like a planet in ruins rather than a desolate world. It continues to defy common understanding, but it was not that long ago the greatest minds our civilization has ever produced were convinced there were intelligent beings trying to communicate from Mars. Nikola Tesla states the following in Collier's February 1901 edition: "The idea of communicating with the inhabitants of other worlds is an old one, but for ages it has been regarded merely as a poet's dream, forever unrealizable. And yet with the invention and perfection of the telescope and the ever-widening knowledge of the heavens, it holds upon our imagination has been increased. And the scientific achievements during the latter part of the 19th century, together with the development of the tendency towards the natural ideal of Goethe, have intensified it to such a degree that it seems as if it were destined to become the dominating idea of the century that has just begun." The desire to know something of our neighbors in the immense depths of space does not spring from idle curiosity, nor from thirst for knowledge, but from a deeper cause, and it's a feeling firmly rooted in the heart of every human being capable of thinking at all. Perhaps if we could clearly perceive all the intricate mechanisms of the glorious spectacle that is continually unfolding before us, and could, also, trace this desire to its distinct origin, we might find it in the sorrowful vibrations of the earth, which began when it parted from its celestial parent. But in this age of reason, is it not astonishing to find persons who scoff at the very thought of effecting communication with a planet? First of all, the argument is made that there is only a small probability of other planets being inhabited at all. The argument has never appealed to me. In the solar system, there seems to be only two planets, Venus and Mars, capable of sustaining life such as ours. But this does not mean that there might not be on all of them some other forms of life. Chemical processes may be maintained without the aid of oxygen, and it is still a question whether chemical processes are absolutely necessary to the sustenance of organized beings. My idea is that the development of life must lead to forms of existence that will be possible without nourishment and which will not be shackled by consequent limitations. Why should a living being not be able to obtain all the energy it needs from the performance of its life functions from the environment, instead of through consumption of food and transforming by a complicated process the energy of chemical combinations into life-sustaining energy? Wait till you hear this. The switch to a limited safe mode on the Hubble and Chandra's telescope, and the sudden failure of NASA's Mars Curiosity rover as evidence that strange events occurring on Mars may be intentionally obscured. Arsia Mons is located within a tightly situated line of volcanoes on Mars, collectively known as Tharsis Montes, which lie in the shadow of Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in our solar system and more than twice the size of Mount Everest. Arsia Mons happens to be the planet's second largest volcano in terms of volume and is home to a series of caves NASA has studied as the best place to situate research and habitation modules. Could there be something already underway? In a project summary published in 2004, it stated that this project developed a revolutionary system to exploit the novel idea of extraterrestrial cave use. Further explanation that 2 missions were tested to gather data. Arsia Mons is known to have an annual weather phenomenon in which sunlight warms the area around the volcano, bringing small amounts of dust into the air. Rising air currents bring this dust and other fine sediment above the volcano's cauldron into a thick, spiraling cloud that is big enough to be seen by a probe orbiting the planet. But the latest plume looks nothing like the spiraling cloud recorded from this phenomenon in the past. Instead, it appears as more of a streaking trail that's persisted over the course of weeks. NASA has attributed the plume to water ice clouds that are gathering over the volcano. The agency says that at certain times of year, the small amounts of water in the atmosphere freeze and condense near areas of high altitude, notably above this volcanic region. If this is the case, then maybe there's significantly more water on the red planet than previously believed, and we should study the areas it's sublimating from. But then again, there's always some simple explanation from NASA that seems to make everyone's concerns seem trivial. Is this really just a storm, or are they covering up something far greater? If NASA really does know the truth regarding the ancient past, then it is most notable that they probably won't just come out and say it. Images of the activity were taken on September the 24th by the Mars Express orbiter and later published by the European Space Agency. According to NASA, volcanic activity on the red planet ceased some 50 million years ago that killed off the dinosaurs, but some believe this latest imaging shows otherwise. Of course they would dismiss this. We want to know what you guys are thinking. Comments below, and as always, thank you for watching.